Check, testing, check. Check, testing, check. This is testing before the game. Check. Check, testing, check. A very good afternoon. Welcome to King City. Rendezvous for the teams taking on the 2025 TD Men's National Championship. Opening game for the afternoon, we've got Ontario Tech University against UTM, University of Toronto, Mississauga. Ontario Tech winning the toss and electing to bat first. Better weather conditions, but it's slightly overcast. Temperature being 19 degrees. End of first over right in away. Expected to be partly cloudy today, but the temperature might be dipping to 13 and less probability of rain, and that's the good news for the team. Any teams who are playing after having an horrendous day dealing with rains 2 days for this 2025 National Championship. It's been a tough walk for teams. With all the anticipation and the adrenaline the teams had to play. However, the tournament started up and away yesterday. We were live from the Niagara Centre. Some good performances. And now, with the fresh games today in the afternoon, we expect to bring on more for you. Haryansh and Fayaz Ahmed opening for the Ontario Tech. Haryansh having the ability to rotate the strike. I've seen him play in the indoor tournaments, the OCA Cups. Keeping it tight. Was a juicy full toss for Haryansh to anywhere that he could have managed to hit it. Couldn't get the timing right on it. Well, as a collected unit, as a team, Ontario Tech, the very first tournament, they'll be looking to win this. Coached by a former player who's played the CCUC National Championship before, Yug Rao. Having conversation with Yug, has been a part of the winning side, touring the US. Sure, Yug's trained the boys right for this high octane games. Keep you updated what the format of this game is. The game's played across 10 overs. You gotta cash in the power that you have, the shots that you have, right from the first that you have to play. Attempted bouncer, well in control of the shot. Gets a boundary. A bit intimidating, gets onto the back foot, right on, and plays it with confidence. (2024) the TD National Championship was a bit of hard boil for the UTM. Almost close, but the run rate not favoring the UTM. Just because the nature of the tournament too. The discussion will be continued after this over. 2 overs done, 16 scored by Ontario Tech. Going 8 and over. Haryansh Chaudhary, also the captain. A bit of stat review for the teams here. Fayaz Ahmed, who's played one match and scored 12 runs. See a lot of potential for him. Strike rate of 133. Appointed as an opener alongside the skipper. The shout. Musa Wasti, who bowled one of the overs with Mohammad Mutahir, who's continuing. Got no stats about him, but does seem like Siddharth Nayak, the captain of UTM, showing faith in him. Might get that ball to do the notorious job, causing a difficulty for the batter to read. It's been a good journey for UTM as well. Firstly, started with their indoor cup and then went on to build a team for a leather ball tournament. They've been very avid to be a part of this CCUC 2025 National Championship. As a team, they're growing, and as they get exposure from 2024, I could say that the very first game played like novices, and then the very second game understood the format and gave a tough fight to their opposition. Almost on the brink of upsetting Algonquin College, who proceeded to the finals. Nice pickup. That's delightful. Gone all the way for half a dozen, I reckon. There's a final confirmation that has to be taken. But a delightful shot. Oh, that just gets better on your replay when you look at it. Just the fine wrist work that he plays with. Too much of technique involved in that shot. His head not falling. Charges down. Change of pace. Pull the length back a little. Smart. The boys of Ontario Tech, they've played a bit more cricket outside of the leagues as well, knowing few players who play local leagues more than the players of UTM who might have exposed themselves to leather ball. And this can be groundbreaking for UTM having that exposure. And let me tell you that the teams are required to keep an eye on the net run rate, because it's going to be a tug of war between the teams when it gets down to that run rate. You'd want to win all of your games to not go. That's a juicy full toss. Protection in the deep. It's a very good start for the opening pair. Fayaz Ahmed proving his strike rate, 133, that are shown on the stats. Whereas the captain of Ontario Tech having a bit of more steady start, giving strike back to him, and that is what is needed for Ontario Tech more than partnership. That brushes down, can be a catch. Is that a catch is the question. It did brush onto something, might have been his hips or the t-shirt where the batter is indicating. Got a leg by, got a wide, a 6, and then 3 singles on the go for the Ontario Tech. That's a good bouncer. Keeping the batter inside the crease. That'll be a dot ball to finish off the third over. 28 for no loss of wickets, Ontario Tech. They're looking strong, going almost at 10, reaching the distance. There will be change in the bowling attack. Pranshu, one of those experienced bowlers in the team. And I do think they might be missing on to one of their ace bowlers who played last year. Pranshu was able to get UTM wickets in the middle phase of the game. Power play done. As this is a 10 over game, there's only 3 overs power play. Wilfred Laurier taking the thrashing in 2 games. First one played with McGill. McGill winning by 10 wickets, keeping a buffer of 4 overs. That was a good game where Umaid Tamoli, that's going up. Catch is the call. Well, could have been a better attempt at the catch. I think he had made his mind, but hesitation. And I tell you this, playing this tournament, you come out to a national stage, which is one of those precious, most eyed and loved tournament from the colleges and universities. There's going to be nerves, and a few of the teams have registered themselves for the first season, like Yorkville University, Ontario Tech. As a team, as a university, the registration has been for the first time for Ontario Tech, but players playing for different universities, and it does speak volume. Speaking about the coach, Yugrao slashed away, was a part of TMU, and a sliding effort to save boundary. Was a part of winning team, Toronto Metropolitan University, being a part of the touring side to the US, playing against the American college. And then he comes back, picked up, and that's picked up nicely there, almost going to the road, saying goodbye. A maximum. Fayaz Ahmed is trying to thrash the bowlers here, making a mark. And that's how they're going to play Ontario Tech. What was mentioned that they having the experience playing a lot of cricket. It's just not the tournament, but outside of this as well. And now when you get these sort of teams into the tournament, it just makes the competitive level. The ball's gone up. Fielder settling in and taken. This is the game that keeps you humble, irrespective of the experience and the games and how much ever you've played, the shots you've taken on the previous ball. That's why it's important to be in the present. And I do think that Fayaz Ahmed's done the damage, he's done the impact, and he wanted to take the attack on in a 10-over game. Much needed. And with his approach, he goes after making 30 runs in 17 balls. And I do also believe that there's a potential for a lot of the newer teams to upset the former champions like TMU from the 2024 TD National Championship, and then the Laurier Cup that recently happened, the 2025 Laurier Cup, Team Waterloo winning that. These are stronger teams, but there's a lot of preparation put in by the players, backing by the university and colleges to be here at King City. The only non-controllable that we were dealing with was the rain, and you could see the disappointment on the faces early in the morning coming up here despite raining. Off the back foot. Despite raining, the team's showing up at 7:30 in the morning, and then that lament, a long cry expressing they would have wanted a full-fledged 20 overs game. And I do believe that to make these games happen as well, it took a lot of active management from the CCUC, the president himself, and the secretary treasurer Ubaidullah himself and Hassan Mirza. It's a collective effort. These teams are trying to stick true to the passion of the game, showing up and making it happen. And it's just the reciprocation of what the teams have committed that the CCUC is providing. Tries of catches collected on bounce. That wicket should breathe in not only confidence but also a ray of hope to restrict the Ontario Tech. They have a good lined up bowling, the Ontario Tech team, and we do at times see picked away that any team scoring over a 10, they have that mental boost, they have that confidence that they've done well. Scoring over 10 runs and over, or at least reaching that mark of 10 runs and over, that not only gives you a protective chrysalis around you, but also a room for bowlers to try and experiment. You're coming to a cutthroat competition like this, you don't have many games. Every game is a must win for you. If not, you're gone. Just to keep you updated, what's happening on the other side, there's one more game between. Has he got the timing? Has he got the distance? Safe there. Probably a running catch. Saved it. Threw the ball outside of the rope. Yorkville University batting on 57 after losing their 2 wickets. The captain is still on the crease. Aaron Angelo Pereira scored 19 runs of 7 balls. Shot. That's superb. There's no answer for that because it's brilliantly played. What a pickup. A stronghold shown by the Ontario Tech. More of a gift delivery. That's a hit me ball, and he's accepted the invitation. No second thoughts. 5 overs, 48 on the loss of 1 wicket. That is Fayaz Ahmed, who's gone after doing the damage, who set the tone. Halfway mark for Ontario Tech, and UTM and Siddharth Nayak will have to quickly reevaluate where this game is heading because they are at 9.60. Pranshu got a wicket, but also had 11 runs from the first over that he bowled. As an active captain, I do think that Siddharth's going to have a word with Pranshu here and just tell him that keep the ball between the wickets because pitching the ball has been a bit of concern for the UTM. And you can see that Siddharth inside the circle. That's what he's trying to do. Just give that assurance to the bowler. Very experienced umpire. And one of the favorite umpire, Bridge, for most of them. You've known him around. Oh, that's uneven. And the keeper could not read it. 3 runs flowing. UTM are being pushed to a corner by Ontario Tech gradually because boundaries are coming at a steady pace for them alongside with singles. So with the field changes as well, I think here the singles has been the key for the partnership to build. You could see Haryansh being a little bit fidgety over the head, and it goes for 6. Connection so sweet that even the fielder on the boundary, the captain himself, could not stop it. Did lose his balance for a bit there, trying to just read the bowler's line and length, and for sure Haryansh is spoiling the line and length. The bowler will have to remain cool under pressure. 18 of 19 balls. That's bowling wide. I'm surprised that the length has been either too full or the length has been too short. And we've seen 3 to 4 full tosses here. And UTM as a cohesive unit, 2024, they're outperforming the opponents. There's a lot of expectation set on this team. Got away with that one. Again, Ontario Tech making the over of 9 runs with 3 balls remaining. Another wide. There has to be a block to these wide runs. If not, Ontario Tech will happily take the free runs. Runs and scoring hasn't been a problem because forget about playing along the ground. These batters have been able to clear long boundaries too. When you look at that square of the wicket, when a batter's bowling, this is the pavilion end, and square of the wicket on the leg side is longer than when the bowler comes on to bowl from the road end, the opposite end, and a right-hander batting is slightly shorter. So it has been a fearless approach from the Ontario Tech batters. Sent down for single. I'm sure there'll be a lot of families, friends who are rooting for their players, their relatives, their friends. There's so much these players have put in. They've practiced hard to come to this tournament. But the end result, only one winner. For all of the hard work that you've put in, this is your judgment day. You'll be judged out of today. Your performances. And I tell you this, with Sidak on the crease, he's faced 6 balls and rotated the strike. There's been only 2 balls for him that he's dotted. His blog, you can say, dot ball percentage for the Ontario Tech is very less, especially with the wides coming in. Much better between the stumps. A very long over for Pranshu ends 64 of 6 overs. Almost an over bowled with wides, 5 wides, five times that he had to re-bowl in that over. And after the departure of Fayaz Ahmed, Haryanch has done well to keep the runs coming. Four overs remain. Could have stopped that single. Not interested for the second run. Abdullah, first time rolling his arm over in the tournament for the first game of UTM, University of Toronto, Mississauga. Peppered down the leg. Just to get to the stats of the game, let's have a look how many extras have been conceded so far. $11 extras coming, and make that 12 extra. A no ball and a free hit, free license given to Sidak. Just get the power out. This is a free shot. That's hit hard, hit with power, and that'll run away. Even the skipper of the UTM could not stop that. He was there, and it was hit so hard mercilessly that it would only stop after reaching the boundary. Free hit utilized to the full. Single, wide, and a no ball. Then a boundary. 4 balls is bowled, but only 2 counted because of the 2 extras. That's going to prove out expensive. Not the regular UTM that we've seen in 2024, because the captain trying his set up with the field. The bowler at times not bowling according to the field, because now the long off called inside for a left-hander. He's given protection on the leg side. There's not much for the offside. So either the attempted ball for the bowler here could be to aim between the stumps, because he's got protection there, and deep mid wicket, where the batter tries to go against the line and gets the wicket. Just like that, where it's Skies who's coming in and taken. Finally, a breather for UTM, much better, pulling his length back, bowling exactly to the field. He had to run from the mid-off to collect that catch. For a minute, I thought that the bowler would be running back to get it, and lost his balance. Juggles a bit after taking that catch, and he knows that how important that can be in the context of the game, with Ontario Tech already on 73. Uh-oh, there's a drama. There's a drama here for the UTM. Looks like they've woken on the other side of the bed today. It's going to be a no ball. It's going to be a blaring no ball. The umpire signaling that the fielder not inside the circle. Despite a good catch, it looks like Siddharth gets alive. There's all sorts of drama in this league. Every time you come in, it just keeps you and wants you to keep your nails chewing. Played. That's one of the better shots in the morning there. There is class all over it, because it was full, almost like an attempted Yorker, but how he delved out. There were wrists involved, and then the placement too. 79, and it can be one of those highest run scores so far in the 10 over. A gap. He's found the gap. Nowhere. Save your legs. Don't bother running for that one because it's going to go for a boundary with the bounce. They are just toying around with the field here. The Ontario Tech. Wide again. Four extras again coming off this over. Just the final ball that remains. Yorkville University have finished very strongly on 95 for the 3 wickets that they have lost. The game's gone. Oh, shot! Sublime! Sublime touch there. He hasn't overhit. Siddha, come on. He's just stroked it. And look at that on the replay. Just there. And it just feels like a flick on the leg side, but it's gone straight. There's no power involved in the shot. It's more about the timing that's taken. Let's take a look. Half volley in the slot and takes it away. "26 runs coming off the over for Abdullah. It's been a good effort from the Yorkville University. A complete team effort with the opener Smith Patel scoring 19 of 16. Started steadily. The opener departing early, Pratham Bandari. Then the captain making 20 runs in 9 balls. Mukmeed Densa as well steadying the ship, scoring 20 runs of 19 balls. And then Sanchit Malhotra walks in, scores 17 runs. 3 boundaries out of those 11 balls that he's faced. So far, the highest score in 2025 TD National Championship is 91, scored by Brock University at Niagara Cricket Centre yesterday against Wilfred Laurier. That's surpassed by the Yorkville, scoring 95 runs. And looks like Ontario Tech are going to give them a tough competition with 17 balls remaining. 91 score, and look at this, with only 1 wicket they've got a lot that can be done here. They can go for their favorite strokes, they can try for that scoop, they can go for that reverse sweep if they want to. They've got a very strong hold. A no ball. Umpire calls it as a no ball, and things not happening for UTM today. Full toss. That's picked at the gap. And that'll run away too. That's in the gap. Even if there was a fielder closer to the ball, I doubt he was going to get there because so many full tosses today. It's been repetitive for the bowlers of UTM who are having a hard day today on the field. There's batting to come, 10 overs, and there will be a lot to be scored for the batters to be able to win this. Cries of catches, cries of catches. He's overrun himself and dropped just not that, but also a boundary. Oh, you gotta be feeling just looking at the bowlers on your live screens here and the teams looking at them playing. That brings up the 100. That boundary, back-to-back boundaries for the Ontario Tech. And first 100 scored in 10 overs by Ontario Tech, the first team to score 100 runs and the first tournament of them, and they have arrived in fashion. Ontario Tech announcing their arrival with a strong score, losing 1 wicket. Sidak and Haryansh. Surprisingly, Sidak has taken more responsibility on him because he's come out to bat after losing Fayaz's wicket. Haryansh has been sloppy there, and throw at the wrong end too. Direct hit has made his ground. Eight overs done, 104. I would actually be thinking that Ontario Tech might want to score 120, 24 runs from here. And if that's the tempo set by the batters of Ontario Tech, it will be almost an unbreachable task for the UTM. And I tell you this because cricket's a funny game. You never know what's going to happen if the batters of UTM come all cylinders firing, and they would need that set up from the opening pair, the two batters who come out in the middle to bat on. And it takes a lot of mental toil with the score put on by the Ontario Tech for your opening batters to come on and get to that total. "12 balls remaining. Here we go. Might be a run fest for the Ontario Tech. Cleaned up. That's Castle. Gets the wicket. There's something here. After a bit, after no balls, after wides and extras, hopefully take a look at the umpire. And Brit says he's finally gone, taking a walk. Haryansh goes after making 22 runs for 15 balls. Let's take a look at the replay here, what exactly happened and the area that we were discussing, where the bowlers haven't been targeting today. That good length, playing against the line, where most of the batters have tried going into that leg side. This might be the ball they would want to go over and over. Last phase, and I do think that they might be able to save some damage here. UTM, Siddharth Nayak, with getting a wicket, a new batter, you'd want to keep that new batter on strike more, avoid that single before he gets on the strike. Oh no, that's going to be a no ball, I suppose, as well. And that's one of the biggest hit. That's gigantic. He could get 10 runs for that because it's gone to the other ground's boundary there. That's a massive, massive hit scored by Dhruv. And he's going to say that he's not to be taken lightly. He might be new to the crease, but got full potential to display. For our viewers and the other teams to take a note of him, that very first ball, that's how you would play, exuding confidence. Back at the length. I tell you that he's proven the whole narrative wrong because of a new player. The confidence on a first ball, you come in, you get a gift with a full toss, and the bowler's asking you to hit. What are you going to do? You're just going to swivel across, and he hits that to the other ground. Could have collected 10 runs. Where is it going? Smart running. There's good stuff from Dhruv and Sidak. If not boundaries, just keep pushing that for 1 into 2. Put the pressure on the fielders. Again, skied. Two fielders running in. Who's going to take it? No one. Another drop. Right through the hands. A catch gone down. And mind you, that is a bigger pocket. That's hit way high in the air. Two fielders almost, even one could have got their hands to it. Could have resulted in a wicket. You wouldn't want to look to your skipper dropping that chance. That's straight. That's hit like a tracer bullet. That's gone. No one's going to stop that one. Straight there. Sidak on 41 with the last ball remaining. And I do think that should be an over. 9:45. 6 ball remain. Can this be the first half century of 2025 TD National Championship? The first team to come, their first tournament in the TD National Championship. And Sidak scoring the first 50. "22 balls and 45 runs. "119. As we discuss about the score of 120, 124, I think they'd want to gather at least 10 runs from this last over. Comes down. Should be a 1. Dhruv thinks that should have been a 1. Sidak batting on 45 of 22. 5 balls for him. Make the first one. First boundary of the final over. That goes slowly to the boundary, but not exactly that has reached the boundary. Will get 2 runs to add on to his personal total and the team total. There's an attempt to try for those big shots. Flighted. Gets 1 run. Four runs coming off 3 balls. Batting on 48. 3 balls remaining. Play and a miss there. 2 balls. 2 runs away, Sidak. When he goes back and knows what his personal score is, he might think, I might be the first person in the 2025 TD Men's National Championship to get my name on the leaderboard with the first half century. That's going to be in no man's land. Final ball, 123. What can it be? A wicket probably is what Siddharth would be thinking. But whereas for Sidak, what can he gather for the team? Final ball from the first game in the afternoon today. He's hit that well. Should be coming back for the second one. Sidak comes back. He runs hard. And that's going to be a 50. 10 overs, 50 runs and 25 balls. Batting over 190, 200 his strike rate. He sets the tone for the tournament, and we know how Ontario Tech would be playing. I'm sure the teams have taken a note of this team batting today. 126 is what Ontario Tech has managed to score. 127 runs is going to be a humongous task for the UTM to climb on. That's the scorecard. Fayaz Ahmed starting the proceedings. 30 runs of 18 balls. Then
Where's the ball? Sorry. Where's the ball, my dear friend?
there's a scorecard for you. Fayaz Ahmed starting with 30 runs, which gave the platform. Haryansh, the captain, contributed with 22 runs. And then Sadak Mehta scoring 50 runs in 25 balls. That's what we've been talking about. And extras, 15 extras given. Scoring at a run rate of 12.60. Bowling scorecard telling a different story. Everyone in double digits in 2 overs that they've bowled and follow wickets on 38 and 104. The bowlers have been eaten up. back after innings break, and also I think after 1 over they've lost the first wicket. That's Rahil. Chintan getting the first breakthrough. New batter walking to the middle, Zen. Not shy there, the fielders throwing themselves to the ball. Attempt to stop that single. First over getting 4 runs off it. And then it just keeps the pressure on, and then it takes the game away from the UTM because they need 127 to win. Played nicely. Gentle push from Siddharth and spectacular timing to get 4 runs on the pads. He's played that superbly. Ball 2 full. That's driven down and a good save. Just the batters wait for that 1 run. Need 117 and 50 balls. Gotta go 10 and over at least from here on. I've seen that attacking style of batting from Siddharth, but the question is who's going to support him while he takes on the charge? Off the back foot. Because the way how the Ontario Tech has batted is that there's one aggressor, and then once that aggressor was gone, the role was swapped with the player who was settled. Because it is his wicket as captain and as a player who the Ontario Tech should be looking to get. Eight runs coming off the first over of Chintan. 2 overs, 12 runs scored, a wicket lost. Leading edge going down to the 1 to third man. I don't think so the Ontario Tech would be too bothered with the UTM team taking singles and doubles of them. They need boundaries here to bring that flying run rate down under control. Picked up, and that's in the gap. Timing has been so sweet from Siddharth Nayak. The 2 boundaries that he's got, one from the square of the wicket and now this one from mid-wicket. He's not trying to overhit the ball, just stroking it gently, and that has worked out for him better than the other batters. Firstly, his fellow opening partner, and then we are yet to see a shot taken from Zain. Sets back immediately. There's no run there. Six runs with the dot. One more boundary. They'd be thinking, okay, we have managed to score 10 runs in an over. Let's try for the next over too. But more than that, the UTM will have to find a bowler that they want to go after here, because there's one bowler you always make him a bowler's pick, a batter's pick, and that's how you try to squeeze the runs out, as many as you can. And who's it going to be? Because this is the third over and a 10-over game. They haven't gone to too many bowlers, the Ontario Tech, and better control, better line and length as well prior to this delivery from Watts. Gone for a boundary, try changing his length, not trying to bowl too full. Two runs taken. And a great initiative again taken by TD and CCUC to partner along to support just not the cricket at the college and university level, but also the grassroots too. With the cricket growing, it's only upward that we would see the game ascending. 22 with the loss of 1 wicket. Cries of catches, and that's their man. Pressure piling up. Siddharth had to take some shot, but unable to clear the fielder at point. Ends up losing the wicket. Stride clearing the man. No elevation. An easy collect. Second wicket going down for the UTM. And on the other end, 44 runs scored in 5 overs by the University of Toronto St. George campus. They require 42 runs. .42 runs in 3.3 overs. Still this game open for UTSG, the University of Toronto St. George campus. They need to avoid the dot balls. And same as for the University of Toronto Mississauga campus. The reason why Siddharth's wicket was important in this game was because of the runs that he's made. 136, his strike rate, 130 again. Zain Gujjar, the wicketkeeper batter, was batting on 5 of 4, and then Mujtaba Mirza. First match for Mujtaba Mirza, and then a very tight format. Right from the first, that the teams will have to go cries of catches. The fielder settles in. What a catch is taken. What a catch. A couple of juggles, and everyone says there's a delight. There's a cry of delight from the Ontario Tech. He was shocked as well. Let's take a look at the replay. Mujtaba going out for a shot. He walks in, he fumbles, catch dropping, and then he says he's got it finally and relaxes. High fives and smiles across for Ontario Tech. And on the other hand, austerity for the UTM. Mohammad Hashim comes to the crease, straight away opens his account. Four overs done. 24 for 3. Need 103 in 36 balls. Vyom Patel. Suggesting a bit more field change. Gets a third man inside the circle. Finer. Starts with a ride. This is going to be a huge victory for Durham. I beg your pardon, Ontario Tech. Ontario Tech, Durham College, associated. 25 runs scored only in 5 overs. This is the 5th over, and whereas the opposition were going briskly at 10 and over, that's a massive difference. Massive difference between these two teams with the run rate. Until the last moment, he waited for the ball. Pace change from Vyom Patel. Then finally, we kept waiting to take a hack into the leg side. 3 wickets lost, 27 runs scored by UTM. Something differently you could see from the body language that they are surrendering to Ontario Tech. Teams warming up on the sidelines, getting ready for their next games. That's going to run away. Going down the leg, had to only direct it where he wanted to hit. Played off the back foot, gets off the strike. 5 overs done, 32 for 3. Bridge! 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 Nowhere near the ball, and then lack of presence from the batter where the non-striker already had left his crease. Busy watching the ball. These are some minuscule errors that the UTM would want to work upon. How to position themselves, how to optimally use any ball skipped by the keeper to put into runs. Again, that wide line. Just that shot where the fielder taking a catch, rolling and still holding on to the ball. Yusuf in the deep, taking a good catch. Good control of the ball. Maninder, the new bowler. 24 balls, 91 runs needed. Player a miss again. I do think that the Waterloo Warriors, University of Waterloo on the sidelines, are waiting, ready to go against their opponents. Very high on confidence after winning the Laurier Cup. Walking into the 2025 Men's National Championship. Going for that scoop. Nothing helping. Well, everything attempted, a no ball. And with the shoulders coming down, you can feel and sense that the batters have lost their enthusiasm, and they do feel that they've already lost the game. But to remind of the factor of run rate, batting on 38, cries of catches, closer, was an exceptional catch in the deep in the last over by Yusuf. And also that conversation we see fading from the batters of UTM, unlike how Ontario Tech batters in the deep were having communication, constant communication running, telling each other what's working and what's not working. And he's stumped. He's stumped. Smart work from the wicketkeeper. Losing his balance. What a disastrous way to get out. He's not happy, but lost his balance there. And then a keeper just throwing at the stump at the right time. Five wickets gone for UTM. 7 overs done. 39 runs made when the target of 127 was set. Bowled him through the gates and stumps rattled. First ball, a Pranshu going for the hit, and he's been the guest for not even a ball. Just come see what's happened, and he's gonna go tell the report to his fellow players what the pitch looks like. Golden duck for Pranshu. 6th wicket going down for UTM. On the other end, alongside with University of Waterloo, you can see TMU getting up. The next game is going to be played between TMU and Waterloo. It's going to be one nerve-wracking game between two strong teams. That's played away. Not enough power to take it to the boundary. To keep you guys updated, it looks like York will finish the game keeping 17 runs. UTSG only scoring 78. As we talk about the finishing touches, it looks like the 7th wicket goes down for UTM, and it is looking very, very dull, colorless for UTM with the wickets falling and no runs being scored. Three more wickets to go. 3 more balls in this over. Tries of catches, looks like it's been put down. Daksh, the new batter. Smith's got 2 wickets in his first over, just gave 2 runs. And again, stump chance put away. Gets the inside edge. Eight overs done. 42 for 7. 2 overs remain to finish this innings off. That's flown over the head of the wicketkeeper. Will be few runs to motivate the tailenders of UTM. 7 wickets gone, tail exposed, 3 wickets. That keeps the Ontario Tech away to bowl UTM out. Yorkville University winning the first game, and it does look like just matter of formality that remains here. 11 balls, 81 runs. White ball bowl. $80 runs, 10 balls. One more wide. The game stretched with the string of wides being bowled. Gets the connection. Will be a long chase for the fielder to get there. I don't think the ball's going to get to the boundary, but will be a few runs. Play and a miss. A wide. One more wide before Chintan finishes off his over. No ball again. A long over with wide. 3 wides and a no ball. A pause to the final. Long over. 9 overs done. 54 for 7. Last 5 balls. Smith Patel will be knocked around for 1. Three balls bowled, 2 singles coming off it and a dot for Smith. 3 wickets in hand. Haven't seen a hat-trick so far in Nationals. Might be the first time one of the teams get a hat-trick in the TD Men's National Championship. 2 balls that remain before this match is concluded. Close to his stumps, survives for the very last ball, and it's going to be a big victory for the Ontario Tech once this is done. Pushed away. Looking to come back for the second one. Where do you think you're running? And that's going to be a run out. Eight wickets down for the UTM, and they've been destroyed by a comprehensive performance by the Ontario Tech. This has been a 70-run victory with 8 wickets down. There, not only the run rate, but with also the confidence would have taken a big beating. Winning by 69 runs, 11 extras bowled by the Ontario Tech. That's the score card that you can see. Only 3 batters managing to put their names on the double digit, and whereas the others still in single digit, most amount of deliveries faced and no impact made. Whereas for the bowling scorecard, 8 bowlers used, and they've been economical with the wickets coming in. Smith Patel being pick of the bowlers with economy, and in his first over getting 2 wickets. The follow-up wickets, never really a partnership that got assembled on the cards for the Ontario Tech to lose this game, or to even think about even for a bit that they might have been in danger. It's been one-sided game. It's been a comprehensive victory.